Testing, testing. Good.
You are good to go.
We're ready to go. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We will call our council meeting to order for September the 22nd, 2025. We have one councillor missing today. Our deputy mayor is missing today. He's out traveling. And our CAO is not here today either. So we have a quorum and we're good to go. Reminder to council to disclose any pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. Hearing none, approval of the agenda. Smokey and Todd, any questions on the agenda? All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. Minutes for September the 8th. We were in second for the minutes. Come on. Todd. Any questions on the minute? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. Public meetings. We don't have any public meetings today. And we do have one delegation. Doug Jackson and Pat Neuwelt.
Yeah.
Tammy's Cove. Yeah. Just come and sit. Yeah, just turn the mic on, you hit the button in the middle and the red light will come up here. So welcome.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you. I'm going to be brief, even though I have some papers here. My name is Doug, and Pat, you've already indicated that we are the delegation. We're representing the 63 concerned residents of Tammy's Cove Road. We're here to respectfully request your support in finishing the paving of Tammy's Cove Road and converting the existing gravel surface to a hard surface. A number of years ago, 0.9 kilometers of the total length of Tammy's Cove Road was paved with a tar and chip treatment. Since that time, even though the act of finishing it has been mentioned to members of council and municipal staff, the remaining 2.4 K has remained a gravel road. The problems? In our written submission, we stated the issues arising from the fact that the majority of the road has remained gravel. But to review, under safety and maintenance, the gravel surface is a safety hazard. It's prone to potholes and washboarding, which can be dangerous for drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, and those operating trucks and equipment. In addition, it's our belief that the ongoing need to grade, re-gravel, and provide dust suppression must be a significant maintenance cost for the municipality.
And can I add that this summer there's been noted a lot less maintenance of the road than we're used to over the summer. There's one spot in the road where a culvert is, I'm told, 3 feet too short, but the road is collapsing and the gravel is traveling through the culvert and into somebody's property. Carry on.
So under vehicle damage, the washboarding, potholes, and unevenness leads to increased wear and tear in our vehicles, resulting in potentially higher ongoing maintenance costs for residents. And under dust pollution, vehicular traffic on our road kicks up dust that settles on and in our homes and cars. It may also create a runoff of particulate matter into natural areas, including Miller Lake, that may impact water quality. The solution is simple. Transition the balance of Tammy's Cove Road from gravel to a hard surface. It would reduce the municipality's long-term maintenance cost, as a paved road requires less frequent and less intensive upkeep than a gravel road, not to mention the cost of adding another layer of gravel seemingly every year. A hard surface provides a safer and more stable environment for everyone using the road. Paving the road would immediately eliminate the dust problem. This is, to us, is a clear case where a modest investment in our road will provide significant, long-lasting benefits to both the residents of Tammy's Cove Road and the municipality as a whole. We've submitted a letter of support signed by the majority of the residents of the road, demonstrating a unified request from our Tammy's Cove community. We understand that such a project involves planning and resources. We urge council to review our request, consider the benefits, and investigate the possibility of paving the rest of Tammy's Cove Road at the earliest appropriate time. We are confident that this is a worthwhile investment. Thank you again for your time and consideration. We're happy now to consider any questions you may have.
All right. Thank you, Doug and Pat. I think we've there has been a little bit of pre-work done on that? I believe engineering, a bit of engineering done. on that,
You
right?
wouldn't know that. I don't know if we know that.
Yeah,
We don't know.
Public Works. On holiday. Okay. Public Works Manager is on holidays right now, and I thought perhaps he'd be here to answer that, but we will get that answer for you. And the culvert situation. So whereabouts is that? That's
I'm just thinking it's not far beyond where the paving stops and the gravel begins.
okay.
Around 1:30.
I'm sorry?
Around
Maybe around
1:30? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
it's on the west side of the road that the road's collapsing. It started during the winter to just fall away.
If you're looking for names near Ron and Adele Caesars, really, right across the road, Ken.
From Adele's?
Yeah.
From Adele and Rons, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, what we typically do, we would turn this back to our Public Works Manager for a report. And he can address what if there has been some pre-engineering, and as I think if I'm recalling correctly, there has been. But that'll be all included in the report, and yeah, we see what, I don't know where your road is on the roads master plan.
That was gonna be my question, is where
Yeah,
it is. We were myself back right to the end of Tammy's Cove, and I think I did see the portion that you're talking about just a couple of weeks ago. It's not very big, but it is. Yeah.
Todd.
I had a conversation with Troy after talking to Pat, and I was under the impression it was gonna be included in the 26 budget.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me, because I knew it was close, but I just wasn't sure where it was.
When I reviewed the master plan from 2024,
Yeah, it was probably on before this. Was it Doug?
it looked to me like the traffic counts on Tammy's Cove Road were equal to some of the traffic counts on roads that are going to be paved, and I was kind of questioning where the discrepancy was.
Well, we'll get those answers when we get a report back from our Public Works Manager. And it's a public report. It'll be on our council agenda, so you can view it.
So that's where we look for the response to.
So we won't hear from you directly. We will look for.
To Alex, we probably will. They'll have to respond.
When Troy gets back, we'll speak to him, and I don't see why we wouldn't be able to get back to you directly.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
I think people would just appreciate hearing one way or the other.
What's going on?
What's going on and when it will be addressed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, any more questions?
Well, I would just say I'm surprised there is a lot of new buildings going up in Tammy's Cove, and it'd been a while since I've been back in there, so that certainly struck me that it's become a pretty busy place.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, on behalf of council and staff, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Agenda items. Treasurer's report, the 2026 budget timetable is identified in this report. A mover and second report, Todd and Smokey. Any questions on that? Call a vote, all in favor? Opposed, the motion's carried. Chief Building Official report, this is the 18 Myles Drive. It's regarding a trailer agreement. And mover and second to bring it forward. I'm on. Todd. Questions, comments? Todd, did you have a comment?
Well, I was wondering if to eliminate this happening again, do we look at option 3 and see if there's a potential to change it? Or at least if with what they've done, it's more than just parking a trailer on their lot. They are tied in. Maybe if there were changes in the long run, that would make this simpler and for future cases. But that's just one idea.
on, you,
Yeah, I'd agree as well. Like option 3 too. I mean, the intent of the bylaw is to prevent people from camping or leaving trailers on site, which it's pretty obvious in this case they're not planning to camp long term. So yeah, I think we do need to sort of rework that bylaw to avoid sort of situations like this in the future.
so how, just some idea, what would you be thinking of for reconsideration of the bylaw?
My one other question was as well as how often are we running into situations like this where people have started construction and probably aren't going to be camping, but unfortunately I've run out of time.
It's not very often.
I can only, even in the years I've been here, remember, like just a handful of people, I can't remember anybody expecting beyond the 2 years.
Yeah.
But, we do know like construction takes longer now, but we don't, I can't say I agree with option number 3, but I do think we need to look at each thing individually, maybe. This is a tough one, that's for sure, because we don't want a lot of house trailers all over the place, because unless you got people to check everything's going according to Hoyle, it's an issue. But at the same time, sometimes construction does take longer.
Yeah, to be honest, I was sort of looking at item 2, number 2, like granting a temporary extension, say for 6 months, to see how the progress was being. What kind of progress was being made. And I agree with Todd. I mean, obviously there's been work there and looks like there's a lot of material kicking around there. So, but certainly open to any suggestion that there's 2 councillors that are kind of leaning towards number 3. So if that's, I just am wondering how would we, the bylaw, how do we?
Well, I guess in a way it's hard to be stuck in the middle of this and then have a bylaw to get us out of this problem. So I was suggesting we give them a 6-month extension, and then like from what I could see, they're asking for a year. But do we extend it for 6 and see where they're at?
That's what I was thinking, Todd. See if there's progress being made, and if there's no progress being made, then
we've had an excellent fall.
Yeah.
So if the intent is to get this thing up, and it needs to be enclosed by winter and blah, blah, blah. 6 months should show us if the intent is there, but.
Alon, would you consider that? Or?
Oh, that's reasonable. Yeah, 6 months and then.
Yeah. All right. So if we could have a mover and a seconder for option 2, Smokey and Amon. Any further discussion? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. CAO report. Updates to our Ministry of Environment and Climate policy, compliance policy. So it's regarding these low risk incidents that we had. We had the correspondence here last meeting, I believe it was. So, and there was the ministry was talking about turning these low risk incidents over to municipalities. So our CAO has provided a report here which indicates that we look after most of these smaller issues anyway, but that they would keep abroad of what discussions are happening.
Yeah, as I stated, during that, I don't like to see the province has sort of turned over so much of their responsibilities to municipalities without the funding. Some of these things maybe it just makes sense and I will go with what our staff recommends that they think that they can handle. But yeah, just as an overall comment, yeah, we need to put our guards up too, that we're not taking on something that should be done by another level of government, because they're the ones getting most of the tax dollars.
So are we okay with?
Curiosity, do we know how many of, or if any of these issues are handled by MECP at all in our area?
I don't know, but did Peggy say not many? Is Peggy online? No.
Because my only concern is, I mean, if there are some things that they have been doing that we just didn't know about, and all of a sudden, you know, more things need to get dumped on us. I agree with Smokey as well. I'm not really a fan of the province and downloading responsibilities to municipal governments. Yeah, just.
Well, like we already do noise, noise, waste, and some of these things. But when they're starting to expand, I think that was the premise too. Yes, we'll take on some of these things, but we will definitely make it known that, you know, there are limits to what municipalities can do.
Yeah.
So they're going to monitor the provincial guidance.
Yeah, as long as they're there when we need them, and because no doubt we will need them, no question. So, all right. So, mover and second. Smokey, mover for that.
Sure. Yes.
So we just received a report for information that Peggy has outlined in the report, what they're planning on doing, what staff are planning on doing. So we will call the vote on that. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. CIO report again, business licensing for bed and breakfast establishments. And here we have an A and B option as well. I'm moving a second to bring it forward, Todd. Smokey. Questions? Yeah.
Well, I would just like to say that I do not think that we should regulate B&Bs solely through zoning provisions. Because I believe, like, already we're seeing some people who are, maybe they say they're renting B&Bs, or some of these have moved on and maybe they're different, but we all know, and they have a person living in, an added room or something like that. And breakfast is maybe a muffin, or if you want more, there's restaurant. So all I'm saying is, I'm not sure we have a lot of people right now that aren't strictly following the B&B rules, but I think all of our legislation that we do, we almost have to look at worst case scenario and make sure that's not happening. So as far as because I think people will try to get around, if they don't have the license, they're not being looked at, they're not having under any requirements or any lens, you'll see those little things happen. And I don't think we want our staff spending time checking to see if someone's staying somewhere or how. I just think B&B should be licensed, and if we can have staff look on to more about how this is going to happen, which I thought we were already doing, but apparently it kind of slipped through the cracks. But I absolutely do not want option B, because you're just going to see people that are actually running STAs, I believe, trying to operate them and say they're B&Bs. That's just how I feel about it.
Okay, and then so our bylaw for the rest of our bylaw does not include bed and breakfast. So SDAs, motels, hotels, right?
So the original short-term accommodation bylaw did originally have bed and breakfasts within the licensing program. However, the previous term of council took that out. So Currently, the STA bylaw only relates to the entire primary residential dwelling. Motels, hotels, those are included within the MAT tax bylaw. So bed and breakfasts are currently paying MAT tax, but they're not licensed.
So then. If we go with option A, it's included in that bylaw. Is that what this is here, do you think, or?
So from conversations with our CAO, we would look at the creation of a separate bylaw so that STAs and bed and breakfasts are dealt with differently, but the licensing process would be the same as in using cloud permit and having inspections of the dwelling.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, they're the only accommodation that's not being, so I think it's only fair that they join that, the rest of the group, and because I agree with some of the comments that Smokey made, that some of them are kind of SDAs me. Yeah. So then, all right, so Lamont, do you have any comment on this? So A?
I would suggest A, yes.
So you're the mover, second. So Todd?
Yes.
So mover and seconder is suggesting A, so we'll vote on that. Oh, sorry. Vote. Yeah, call the vote. All in favor, A. Motion carried. Museum Committee, item E. August 5th meeting minutes. Come on, move that. Todd, any questions on museum?
I don't have a question, but I would say it looked like there's a lot going on at the museum this year. And it was good to see like people there and it being, well used and well noted. And
Mark, on the building itself, you talk about windows and doors. What is actually going on there?
So the main schoolhouse building.
Yes.
All the windows are being replaced, the side door. The building is being replaced.
Okay.
Budget. Year.
Yeah. Okay.
That should be happening next week or two.
All right.
Everything's in. So we can schedule an install date.
Okay. Any further questions? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. Next is accounts. Mover and seconder for accounts. Smokey and Todd. Questions?
I did have a few questions. I've sent them in. They've been satisfactorily answered. I don't think I need to bring up them here. If I have any further questions on that, I will get in touch with staff. But otherwise, any of my questions were answered.
Yep.
Satisfactorily.
Yeah, good. Anyone else have a comment on the account? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion is carried. Other business. Mark sent an email out earlier regarding our tennis courts and pickleball courts, and yeah, I've had a look at them too. They look great. Any comments on that, Mark? Or?
No, there's just a small delay in ink supplies coming. Otherwise, we've been done onwards.
Yeah.
It's complete now.
Yeah.
Open to the public. And
yeah.
Pickleball clubs.
Yeah, everybody happy. All right, yeah, other business. Go to correspondence. Item A. This is after the issue that they had with daycare. Safety measures being taken. And infrastructure, Greg Bruce. Teresa, that OCIF, what do we get in that roughly? Okay.
304,000.
Yeah. All right. Ontario Disability Employment Network declaring, what date is that? October 18th.
16.
There's 6, that's right, it is. It's much clearer with my glasses. Yeah, declaring that. So Alex, how do we accomplish that emotion?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If council would like to declare, we could do a motion and then staff would do a Facebook post on that day.
Moved by Amon, second by Todd. All in favor? Motion carried. So A and B are information. Do you want a motion on that or just?
Yes, if we could do a motion to receive for information, that'd be great.
Okay, A and B. Smokey and Todd. Call the vote. All in favor? The motion is carried. Bylaw, we have one bylaw, confirmatory bylaw. Moved by Amon, second by Todd. Any questions? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed, the motion's carried. Closed session. No closed session. Motion to adjourn. Amon, Smokey, all in favor?